Hi, my name is Jurat Chin, and here with me today is the new Subaru Forester facelift. It has been 4 years since the launch of the 5th generation Forester, and it's really about time to update the range a little bit. On the surface, we get an updated fascia, but the headline here really is the substantial upgrade in terms of safety, namely the latest and greatest EyeSight 4.0 ADAS system. In Malaysia, the Subaru Forester goes up against the typical C-segment SUVs like the Honda CR-V and the Mazda CX-5. But should you get this one instead? Well, in this video, we're gonna find out. The new Forester now comes in 4 variants, but just to simplify things a little bit, technically there are only 2, and that is the 2.0 IL variant and the 2.0 IS. Whereas the GT Lite and the GT Edition you see here is body-kitted version of the 2 variants. The price now starts at 164,000 ringgit, going all the way up to 186,000 ringgit. It is slightly higher than the competition, but that is understandable considering the Honda CR-V and the Mazda CX-5 is assembled here in Malaysia as CKD units, whereas this one is fully imported from Thailand as the CBU unit. So now, let's check out what's new. Alright, the updated face. The first thing you'll notice is the newly designed headlights over here. The C-shaped daytime running lights are here to stay, but it looks bolder than ever. With this cutout over here that leads into the grille, and also the blacked out housing that makes it more contrasty and more prominent than before. The black theme also extends to the grille. As you can see, it is bigger and meaner than before, but instead of being framed by chrome here, it is now lined in black. I say that, but you still get this chrome moustache over here and also 3 strips of chrome down there at the fog light housing. Other than that, we also get this 3D effect bumper over here, and that's about it. Generally speaking, Subarus are usually not that striking to look at, but this facelift has really done the Forester justice, as I think it looks quite fresh. Around the side, let's start by talking about wheels. So if you're getting the L variants, you get 17-inch wheels, but if you upgrade to S variants, you get 18. But if you go for the GT Edition, you get this 18-inch dual-tone design with a GT badge down there and a full-body body kit that goes all around the car. It looks kind of aftermarket-y, kind of flashy, in my opinion. For me, if I were to get the car, I would get the 2.0 IS variant, which is a lot cleaner. On top of that, you also get this very solid and sturdy roof rails here with a little bit of design in there, and also a little bit of a carbon fiber print. Paired with the very boxy shape of the car, it makes the whole Forester looks more rugged than the CR-V or the CX-5, which has a softer approach to the design. At the back, for the facelift version, you get this new black piece of body cladding over here. Other than that, everything else is pretty much carried over from the pre-facelift version. You also get this C-shaped LED tail lights from before that matches the design of the front as well. And if you get the GT Edition, you get this very flashy looking double spoiler. Either way, I understand that this design is going to split the room in terms of opinions, but regardless, you've got to admit that this car does look unique, especially when you compare to the Honda CR-V or the Mazda CX-5 that you see every day on the road. Now, let's check out the interior. In here, the first thing that caught my eye were these lovely quilted leather seats that is reserved for only the GT Edition. Other than that, the dash design largely remains unchanged. You still get this stitching over here and also black piano plastics over here. And it's starting to look a little bit dated in my opinion, especially when you have this same analog gauge cluster and TFT display from before. I understand the appeal of analog gauges, but come on man, it's 2023, it's time to step it up. In terms of build quality, it is actually quite nice in here. You get some soft touch materials here and also here. So you get knee padding here as well, which is nice. And also at the side, you get some leather padding for your elbow, which is quite nice. If you reach down lower, of course, you're gonna be treated with some scratchy plastics, but that is par for the course. It's not quite Mazda CX-5 level but it is definitely better than the Honda CR-V. Standard across the range, you get this 8-inch infotainment system. It's not the best looking interface, but it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, so you're going to end up using that anyway. And on top of that, you get this secondary screen that shows you various vehicle function like your fuel economy, your off-road information, and especially when you use X mode, but more on that in a little bit. Other than that, you get 360-degree surround wheel camera, dual-zone climate control, electronic parking brake that saves space and gives you more cubby storage, and pedal shifters. What is not standard are these aluminium foot pedals that you only get on the GT edition. Here at the back, I have the driver's seat adjusted to my usual driving position. I am 170 centimeters tall. You can see that I have ample legroom and quite a bit of headroom as well. In terms of space, it is definitely better than the CX-5, but not quite at CR-V levels. As for seat comfort, the backrest can be reclined quite a fair bit, might I add, to get into a more comfortable position, and also the seat base is very supportive, quite long as well, to support my underthigh for longer journeys. One thing to note is that the rear window here is rather large. It makes the whole cabin feels a lot roomier than it really is. Now, in terms of amenities, we do get some pockets here for your gadgets, rear aircon vents, which is crucial for such a large car in Malaysia, and also a couple of USB chargers, Type A, not Type C. And finally, a center armrest with a couple of cup holders. The boot capacity of the Subaru Forester is rated at 505 litres, just slightly smaller than the Honda CR-V, but quite a fair bit larger than the one in the Mazda CX-5. In terms of features, you get a spare tyre under the floor, a 12-volt power socket, and quite a bit of hooks for your groceries. 2 on the side, on each side by the way, and uniquely to the Forester you get 2 on top here as well. One thing that I like in particular on this Subaru Forester is that the fact that you can fold down these seats just from the rear here when you want to load longer and larger items. And if you simply must get a powered tailgate, you have to get the S variants. Unique to Subaru models is this one thing called the pin code access feature, which you find here. Say today you want to go for a long hike or you want to go swim across the river or the Atlantic Ocean. Well, you can leave your keys in the car and lock and later unlock this car with this feature. So for the more adventurous type of people, this is actually a very, very cool feature. Now, let's talk engine. You get but one choice, and that is this 2-litre naturally aspirated boxer engine. And as you can see, it sits quite low in the engine bay as compared to the conventional inline 4 cylinders. That translates to lower center of gravity, and as a result, you get a better handling car. Power-wise, you get 156 PS out of it and 196 Nm of torque. Performance-wise, the Forester does the 0 to 100 km/h sprint in 10.3 seconds and tops out at 193 km/h. For transmission, we get the same CVT that drives all 4 wheels via the Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive system. On top of that, we get X mode, which is a feature that helps you in off-road situations. If you want to feel extra special though, you have to get the S variants because you get special X mode. And what does that do? It gets you out of deeper snow and mud. I'm not even kidding, guys. On the button it says D, snow and mud. It stands for deeper. Now, all this remains mostly unchanged, but what has been given a proper upgrade are the safety equipment. Finally, we get to talk about the EyeSight 4.0 ADAS system, which is now standard across the range. On the mechanical side of things, we get an improved stereo camera that now scans twice as wide as before, which means it sees more. For new features, you get adaptive cruise control, and on top of the previously available lane departure warning system, you now get lane departure prevention system. Other than that, on the S variant, you get an additional autonomous emergency steering feature. How that works is when there is a potential crash in front and the driver is not reacting to it, the car will take over the steering wheel and try to avoid the crash, which is super smart. On the passive side of things though, we get 7 airbags still. 2 at the front, 2 at the side, and a couple of rear curtain airbags. On top of that, you also get a knee airbag for the driver as well. Now, previously, only the top trim gets the EyeSight ADAS system. Now all 4 variants get it. That is fantastic. I am a big fan of how car manufacturers now include safety equipment as standard across the range. The Subaru Forester has always been a standout option in the C-segment SUV space. It may look a little different, but that is because it is different. With higher ground clearance, Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system, and now EyeSight ADAS system standard across the range, the Forester is not only a safe and practical family SUV, it also offers off-road capabilities that the competition simply has no answer to. So, would you get this Subaru Forester over the Honda CR-V or the Mazda CX-5? Let us know in the comment section down below. I've been Gerard, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.